Hello and welcome to the Complete Lakers podcast. I'm Anthony Wilson, recording from Los Angeles, California. Joining me is David Galvez. Galvez, how are you doing today?
What's up, Wilson?
Nothing much, man. Wanted to check in with Galvez about the Lakers. Um, on Sunday, they lost to the Celtics. I talked about that on my own already on here. But something I didn't talk about on Sunday was the comments LeBron made after the game about his relationship with Jalen Brown. Gowers, you have the transcript, don't you, of what he said?
Yes, one sec. I had it, and all right, here we go. So I'm assuming I didn't hear how the question came about, but I'm assuming they asked what his relationship was like with Jaylen Brown, and this is quote from LeBron James himself. Quote: "Our relationship has been pretty respectful. Besides the shit he said about Bronny at Summer League, but other than that, we've been all right. End
Mm-hmm.
quote."
All right. So yeah,
And
okay, go ahead.
well, sorry. And then just to add a little bit of context, um, when they asked LeBron about when Brown said what he said back in the summer, LeBron said, "We'll be all right. It's all good. Bronny's got a long way to go, but that's another story." Um, so yeah,
Okay, right. So now I do know that I did hear LeBron, basically giving Jalen love for the year he's having. I talked about it, having an MVP type year, averaging 30 points a game. And Brown was saying he didn't know what more Jalen had to do to, get his name mentioned more. I guess I think in those type of conversations. But so that Bronny part, um, the guy was saying off air. What were you saying, guys? That you kind of feel like hey, like Bronny's a grown man, right? Like why is they kind of
hmm
makes Bronny look bad that his dad is always having to
yeah.
speak up more.
Well, it goes. So this is already the second. So this is Bronny's second year, right, or third?
Second year,
This is the second year. Okay, so he already had the real big incident with Stephen A, where it actually happened on the court, right? And then now you got this. So if I'm Bronny, I'm coming from Bronny's perspective. I don't want my dad standing up for me. I'm already a grown ass man. I'm 20, 21 years old. I'm a millionaire. People already don't think I deserve a spot on an NBA roster. And you just bringing that up, it just keeps igniting fuel to the fire, right? Another thing, I'm not a father, and neither are you. We don't have kids, so we still don't know what it's like to be coming from LeBron's perspective as a parent. But we are sons, so from a son's perspective, I would be very embarrassed if my dad and I worked at the same establishment, and my dad had to constantly be standing up for me or saying like, "Hey, don't mess with my son," blah blah. Like, no, we're all grown men. Stephen A's a grown ass man. Jaylen Brown's a grown ass man. They're entitled to their opinions. They didn't say anything disrespectful about Bronny, so that's what I'm saying. It's just better if he just says, "Hey, you know what? No comment." That's it.
yeah. Okay, well, how do you feel about? I mean, occasionally when they ask, I mean, he had like somebody like Dion, right? He hasn't gone to the lengths of Ron has gone to like put
You
himself
said who?
in
I'm sorry.
Dion Sanders.
Oh, yes,
He
yes.
hasn't
Okay.
gone to the same lengths that LeBron has gone to kind of put himself in Bronny's business, right? Really, if you think about the whole Bronny thing, LeBron. I mean, Bronny, let's face it, would not be in the NBA if it weren't for if that's what LeBron wanted, right? Um,
Yeah.
but Dion occasionally Dion will speak and he'll do interviews, gonna ask him questions and stuff like that. But do you feel like I don't know why I'm bringing Dion. I guess because they're really the same thing. But you don't. So
Well,
huh?
no, go ahead. Ask
I,
your
I mean,
question.
so you don't. I mean, in my mind, it's like LeBron is still. I think the thing with LeBron is that the way he does it when it's like it's almost like it's because really it's about him in the first place, right? The whole Bronny making the league thing was about LeBron's own ego and LeBron just being like another feather in LeBron's cap, basically, to be able to say, well, he got his son drafted, he got to play with his son, that type of stuff, right?
Like I wanted it to happen, so it happened,
Right. Even though
and
I think
they're
there
just
was
stroking his ego.
I think it was Ramona Shelburne who came out and said that in response to that Jeannie Buss article on ESPN, where Leslie Jeannie felt like LeBron wasn't appreciative enough of the Lakers drafting Bronny. Supposedly, LeBron said, "Well, I never asked him to draft Bronny, right?" But he did. Well, we can't act like he didn't make a big
Yeah,
deal out of it, right?
just like when you said I didn't ask to trade for him. I didn't ask to trade him.
Yeah, right.
I didn't
So,
ask to draft him.
right. So, but so,
LeBron has never, according to LeBron, over 21 years, the only one consistent with LeBron is he had nothing to do with any roster moves over 21 years. He
right.
literally has, and it's, yeah, now we don't expect him to come out and say, yeah, I wanted to do this, right?
Mhm.
But it's like, come on. Now, real quick, with the whole Dion thing, the difference between Dion and Shador is is an NFL quarterback. Nobody's saying Shador is a quarterback because his dad is Deion Sanders. Shador has the talent, and he had first round pick qualities and talent. Right, the fall from the first to the I think fourth or fifth, that is gonna have to be studied for generations. But Shiloh, right? That's the one that, yeah, I guess he made the team based off his name, and he got cut right away, and that was it. Like they kept it pushing. The NFL don't play that shit. Um, they're not gonna bend over backwards like the NBA does for its players. But um, you know,
But you don't feel like as a parent, I know, like you said, we don't have kids, but you don't feel like
yeah.
as a parent, it's not that it's LeBron's job, like you said, Bronny's grown, but
Mhm.
more so not that LeBron should speak out and say stuff about stuff or go to the game and get in Stephen A's face, but more that don't you think that his do you feel like his relationship with Jalen Brown should have been affected by what Jalen said, not knowing that he was on camera and that people were going to read his lips, you know?
I mean, but the thing is, it's like his son is not an NBA player though, or at least he's not a rotation player. He might be a 15th on the bench player, but like you said, everybody knows that if his name was John Smith, son of a Amazon driver, no offense to Amazon drivers, but if it was just a regular guy, we know he probably wouldn't even have played D1 ball, let alone play in the NBA. So it's like, um, I think LeBron is just making it worse for Bronny. That's my thing, you know. And because I feel like LeBron's comments should not have been public. He should have never said, "Yeah, our relationship is like it's whatever." Especially after he talks shit about why can't you just say no comment? Hey, he's a great player, you know, definitely an MVP candidate this season. What he's doing without Tatum is nothing short of extraordinary. Got nothing but professional respect for him, and that's it. Why do you have to mention he just had to throw that out there? He just had to let it be known that he's still thinking about him talking crap about Bronny. Did he say Bronny was a bad kid? Did he say he was a bad person? No. He just said what everybody else thinks. But Bron is making it worse for Bronny, you
But
know?
but didn't they
Because
ask
now,
him, LeBron?
but why couldn't he respond the way I just told you? Why couldn't he just say, He's a great player. I got nothing but professional respect for him. Why did he have to mention Bronny?
Okay, so they didn't ask him specifically about Friday. He
He
volunteered.
had, yeah, exactly. They didn't say, hey man, how's your relationship with Jaylen Brown after Bronny? No, that he LeBron had to say that. And even if they did mention Bronny, why does he have to like keep letting it be known, hey, if you're gonna talk about my son professionally, not personally, professionally, why why does he have to keep acting like Bronny is in an AAU team still and like he's off limits from criticism, you know? Uh, Because let's be honest, Wilson, every time Bronny goes in, they're up by 20, down by 20. He makes a basket. It's like it's some sort of Make a Wish Foundation, basket. We've said this time and time again. It's like, have you seen those basketball clips where the equipment manager they put him in there and then the opposing team gets a rebound, but they still give it back to the kid just so he can shoot, right? And then the whole team celebrates, even the opposing team, right?
Hmm.
That's that's basically what Bronny is at this point. Like, what other player in the NBA gets cheered for making a basket when they're up by 30 or down by 30?
Yeah.
You know, but again, I just think LeBron, just any public statement you're gonna make about Bronny, um, just keep it to yourself, man. Just keep it to yourself. A lot of people now, I've been reading online. A lot of people have said that maybe that's why Jaylen Brown was left off the Olympic team.
But that had already, the Olympics had already happened. No, it hadn't, huh? But they had already,
No,
no, but, oh, that was two, so that was, so, no, no, that, the Olympic decision had already been made.
or Team USA. Some like not the Olympic team, but I think Team USA. Something that he was left off Team USA for that reason. I don't know. That's what I read online. I'm not sure, but um, you know, it's just like I said, man, Braun. Let your son take the hits. He's a grown ass man. You can take the criticism. You're just making it work.
Okay. Uh, we're gonna transition into some talk about the Lakers on the court right after this break. All right. So, um, the Lakers are, as I said, they're 34-22. They play Orlando tonight at the Crypt. I don't know about you, Galvez, but for me, um, at first I said when they first renamed it to Crypto.com arena, I said I'll never call it that. But now I kind of like just calling it the Crypt. You know, I kind of like it. I don't know. I don't know what you call it. You
Is
said,
that is that what people call it?
I mean, I like calling it that. It kind of has a nice. It's not bad, you know. So that's gonna always be a staple center. We have those memories of, you know. But yeah.
I mean,
Um.
the good thing it was a when you said nobody really said the Staples Center, they just called it at Staples.
Mhm.
And at Crypto, it still stayed one word and it was short, so it
Mhm.
wasn't that hard of a transition.
Mhm.
It's not like we had this like these 3 word. It's still short and sweet.
Right. Um. So the Lakers are, like I said, okay. So we're 2 games now into the second half of the season. Lost to Boston on Sunday. Disgraced Pat Riley. I already talked about that. Uh, I brought up in that instance. Remember when a couple of years ago, Galvez, when we were playing Boston on Christmas, and LeBron said that I think he said that he'd rather be at home with his family or something like that. And you guys
Mm-hmm.
were a little upset with it because you're like, bro, it's a Celtics game. You're supposed to take that personally. And I think this team, and I already talked about it in the solo episode I did, but I think this team, you know, we were lucky. We were great. We were lucky that when we were, between 2008 and 2010, we played those two finals against the Celtics. That the new generation of Lakers and Celtics, they embrace that rivalry. But the way the NBA is today, who knows if these young guys will ever feel like do they care about Lakers Celtics? Do Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown care about Lakers Celtics? Do Austin Reeves
No,
look at?
nobody on the sorry to cut you off, but nobody on that '08 to '10 Celtics team. None of them were on the Redeem team, right? On the '08, or was Ray Allen on that team?
No, none of them are on
Okay, so see that helped too, right? That helped too. That that in '08 in the Redeem team, Kobe was on that team. They had lost the finals, and it would have been if Paul Pierce and Ray Allen would have been on that team and they're all embracing each other and buddy buddy, who knows um, how that would have happened. But yeah, the Lakers Celtics rivalry, it's gonna they have the talent on both sides to really embrace the rivalry, but you know,
there. Yeah, it's
I
like,
guess they
and you're just thinking about talking about the game again. You know, Number one, normally when a team, I don't know if you noticed this over the years, because so the game was at 3:30, right, on Sunday. So so Boston had a little bit more time to recover. But when teams come in, Galvez, to LA, right? If they were here the day before, we know what they did last night. Anytime a team comes to LA, they hitting the clubs, they're partying, you know. And so a lot of times, if you notice, when the Lakers will play those Sunday matinee games on ABC, it's like they have the advantage because the other team is dead. They partied the night before, you know. So
especially if they play the Clippers like
right, well
they're on a 4 day,
right. So
you know.
they've been here for a few days, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the Celtics have played the Clippers right before that or not. But regardless, anyway, it was a 3 hours later. It was at 3:30. But basically, I mean, the Celtics they had more energy over 4 quarters. It's like LeBron said, the Lakers kept the same energy over 4 quarters. And the second thing is like all Boston has Jalen Brown. They have Peyton Pritchard, who's a pretty good player. They have to move him back to the bench because he plays better off the bench. And then now they got Vucevic at the trade deadline. We had all three of our big guns, and we still got blown out by them. You know, just because of, and it's like Joe Mazzulla is a hell of a coach. You know, I feel like JJ, and I don't think I've said this since you come back on the podcast. Like last year, the way that the Lakers were looking before the trade was like how Boston plays. You know, just hard, a lot of energy, crisp, decisive, and then Luca changed everything. When he came when the trade happened. Um, but yeah, I don't know what your thoughts were. Did you watch the game on Sunday?
I did not know. But I saw the highlights and I saw, some game tape and then yeah, it's the NBA. It's an 82 game season, so you're gonna have these hiccups at home. But the Lakers should never not be pumped to play the Celtics, right? But then again, it's a new generation. Uh, but I think the main thing with the Lakers going into the second half of the season, which is not really the second half, we just always called it the second half of the season because
Mm-hmm.
All Star break, but it's really the last third of the season, right?
Right,
Because
about
they've already
25
played.
games left in the season.
Yeah, so it's really the last third. Uh, their main thing right now is stay out of the play-in, right? They got to stay out of the play-in, and they have to somehow find a way to stay in the top. And sorry, in the third or fourth seed. Not because they need the home court, but because they need to avoid OKC for sure. And it looks like Spurs are going to be a tough out because of Wemby. They just got to stay healthy, man. There's the okay. LeBron is 41. He's not going to get any younger, right? If anything, he's going to have more wear and tear as the season goes on. It don't matter what Luka or Austin Reeves do; they're not defensive players. They're not. They're just not defensive players. Where they're going to have to win is they're going to have to stay healthy, stay fresh, and just this is where JJ Redick's got to earn his money, right? It's kind of like, in the NFL, the defensive coordinator comes up with schemes to kind of mask. Maybe they don't know how to run the ball. I mean, sorry, they don't know how to stop the run, so they got to add an extra guy or two in the box. Um, they have a horrible secondary, so they got to put an extra safety in there. I mean, JJ Redick's got to just find a way to come up with some sort of defensive um, strategy to at least get these guys playing with some defense, right?
Yeah, I think that he
Austin Reeves is not going to turn into Gary Payton,
right.
right? Luca's definitely not going to turn into, you know,
Bruce Bowen.
Bruce Bowen or Kawhi or who's the other
Ron
guy? James Posey or these other guys.
Artest.
Uh, exactly. So LeBron's not going to go. He's not going to be 33, 31 again instead of 41. So uh, the main thing, honestly, is health. At this point, if you got to sit out a guy every now and then, I know that's what us NBA fans just cringe at, but you got to think long term. There's really nothing we can do, man. Seems like the Lakers just put all their eggs in the summer basket. Um, Hayes and Aiton gotta just really dig deep. But
Yeah, I think JJ. You already see like he's made some
hold on,
adjustments
Wilson, hold on. Question, two questions. Sorry. One, do you agree with what I said?
about what the defense.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Is that I think that he's
And
already
two, sorry, and then two, do you have faith in JJ Redick's coaching ability that he can get it done, or at least in the coaching staff as a whole?
yeah. So uh, number one, I think he's already made some adjustments to the defense. But and I was thinking about this the other day. Is that like what I miss is when we were coming up, and in the playoffs it would be a chess match, right? So the Lakers would face like a San Antonio or whoever it is, and maybe, like you said, San Antonio would have the advantage in a certain area, and maybe they would take the first two games against the Lakers, right? And the Lakers would go back to the drawing board with Phil Jackson, and they make some type of adjustment to try to stem the tide back in their favor, right? But that was back when, everybody played a different style. So we ran the triangle. San Antonio played a different style. Dallas played a different style. And Sacramento, Portland, and so on and so forth, right? So you had to make adjustments and come up with tailored game plans based on the matchup in the playoffs. Now it's not really like that. Everybody pretty much plays the same style, but the Lakers are so defensively challenged that JJ is gonna have to do something, and he's already doing. I think which is they play a little bit of zone now. Sometimes it seems like right. With zone is
Mm-hmm.
basically what you play when your guys can't guard man to man, right? Um, it was just crazy that you would hope that be it wouldn't be until the playoffs that he would have to make some type of defensive, like some type of adjustment like that. He already has to do it with 25 games left in the season because the defense is so bad naturally, right? Now, do
Yeah.
I think that like I said, he's already done? He's limited by the personnel that he has. Like I was saying last year, before the trade to shock the world, they were playing. I mean, they were crisp and decisive and playing hard. But see, the way that Luca plays, it rubs off on the team. It does, bro.
Yeah.
It rubs off on the team, man. That's why what's his name? Nico and Harrison. He said, I had enough of this. Let me see if I can do something. It's a hard watch, And so yeah, I mean it's gonna have we'll see what JJ can do. Like I said, he's doing the best he can. They have been playing better defensively lately. Like the game against Boston on Sunday, it was uh it was kind of a defensive battle for the first three quarters, and then Boston pulled away at the end. But yeah, I mean, I have as much faith in him as I don't doubt his coaching acumen. I just don't know how much he can do with the personnel that he has. He don't really have any defensive players, you know.
Yeah.
So like believe it, Boston, it's Jalen, and then it's a bunch of dudes who you barely even know their name, but they all play hard and play defense, right? Lakers aren't like that. Lakers have they have big time stars in the top three, and then a bunch of other guys who you know their name, but other than Marcus Smart and Vando, like DeAndre Ayton is already known for being lazy. That's his reputation. You know, Luke Kennard is a 3-point shooter. Like I said, that's not going to help the defense. Rui's not known really as a defensive juggernaut like that. Jake LaRavia, he's not known as a defensive player.
It's not a scrappy team.
No,
No.
so
It's
uh,
like, and it's not in their DNA, right? It's like the
yeah,
Pistons. The Pistons have a bunch of scrappy dudes,
yeah, man. I
and they're a
wish we had a
scrappy
team like
defensive
bro.
team.
We never had a team like that.
Yeah.
you know,
No. Well, we've always had talented players, right?
right?
But but yeah, I mean the problem is that in the three teams that we're gonna have the most trouble against, Denver has Jokic, San Antonio obviously has Wemby, and OKC has Holmgren, which Holmgren I wouldn't consider him a dominant big, but because he doesn't play like a dominant big, but he is a big that has size, and if DeAndre Ayton, if you can't, what's the word I'm looking for? If you can't trust Ayton to perform defensively, I mean, how much can Jackson Hayes really give you? And Lakers really don't have anybody else. Um, Real quick, Wilson, one thing I wanted to tell you, I was watching the Spurs highlights. They played the Pistons yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that Wemby, how these NBA players move now. Like Yao Ming was 7'5", and
Mm-hmm.
he was a fucking log. He could barely move.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby is 1 inch shorter. He's 7'4", and the way he moves is just my god, dude. What are they like? It's just amazing what 20 years and one generation of basketball can do for these players, huh?
Yeah. Also, the fact that when we were coming up, they made big men. Big men had to play like traditional big men back to the basket. Nowadays,
Yeah.
you can be 7'4". They let you shoot threes. They let you dance around on the perimeter and all types of
Hmm.
stuff.
Bring the
So
ball up the court.
yeah. So the game has changed. It's kind of
Evolved.
yeah, like KG used to play kind of like that,
Yeah.
but it's just evolved and grown so much.
Yeah.
Now you expect the big man to shoot threes and handle the ball
It's
and stuff
yeah.
like
It's like the running back.
that. Yeah.
No longer the running back has to catch the ball out the backfield. There's no yeah. He just no. If you're gonna make an NFL roster, you better be able to catch the ball in the backfield.
Right. Um. Okay, so we're gonna take another break, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk about Mayweather-Pacquiao too. All right. So it was announced the other day that Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. will be fighting a rematch in September at the Sphere in Las Vegas. They fought the first time in 2015, and that was delayed by like 5 years. They finally got it on. Mayweather won by a comfortable unanimous decision. And now these guys are 46 and 48 years old, and they're having money problems, and they're gonna get it on again. You know, I mean, I'm disgraced by it. I really hope that by September it falls apart and it doesn't happen. Floyd, I don't know, bro. I guess it's just, man, it bothers me so much that people be so stupid with money. But we don't look at Pacquiao the same way. He's the same way. Pacquiao made hundreds and hundreds of million, at least probably 500 million or more from boxing. Floyd made more than that, probably 800 million. And and now they have to come turn around and fight again. It's almost like these guys, not almost like it's historically it's always been like this. Really, that's why I credit people like Oscar De La Hoya, right? Who he made his money and he still has his money. You know,
Yeah.
that's not.
Well, and he's doing his. It's not just that he's sitting on his money. He's making more money as a promoter. He found something to, you know, make money. But the thing about boxing is, you look at the last couple of years, the guy who has made the most noise, and it's like a disgrace, is Jake Paul, right? He's a YouTuber. He's not even a professional boxer. The fact that his fight with Mike Tyson on a free Netflix drew more viewers than Canelo versus Bud Crawford. Like, and these guys are 48, 36 years old. Now, let's be honest with them. We're both boxing historians and we love boxing. We're gonna watch the fight because we just want to see, right? But it's funny because we said it on the air or off the air before we got on. I mean, can you imagine in 2005 Chavez fought, or like in 2010 Chavez fought Hector Macho Camacho, rest in peace,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or like in 2020 Oscar fought Sugar Shane Mosley. Like, dude, they're like, now they're smaller guys, so they won't look as flabby as these heavyweights do when they're like 40, but um it really speaks more about the state of boxing,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
know
it's,
that
I,
uh that 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 these guys, for example, David Benavidez, right? um Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Bud Crawford. Well, Bud Crawford's a little older. Just like the 30 and under boxers, nobody cares. We thought Ryan Garcia could have been the next face of boxing. He had the look, he had the style, he had the charisma, and he's already 26, right? So it's not like he's still a young pup. He's entering the prime, but you know, there's he's more of a YouTube sensation, social media presence than an actual boxer.
right. And he
But
looked he
that's
looked
the
good.
problem.
He looked good on Saturday. But I argue with Jason Wolf about this all the time. I wish he would come on and talk about it on the podcast. But he's so big on this era of boxing. He says, "Oh, the fighters are so good, this and that. There's so much talent." But other than Canelo is like Floyd. He passed the torch to Canelo. Canelo's held it down. He's been in a lot of big fights. But Canelo wasn't able. I mean, it's like there's no. Yeah, he fought Crawford and Crawford retired. But even if Crawford had retired, he wouldn't be the guy who could generate a big time super fight as an A side fighter. So there's just no. It's like there's a bunch of planets, but there's no sun. There's no Oscar, there's no
Yeah,
Tyson, there's no Mayweather
yeah.
or Pacquiao who can
And
give life.
and that's the thing. And that's the thing. Yes, they might be better boxers, but they don't bring the enthusiasm and they don't bring the excitement of a boxing fight. You know, um, Unfortunately, MMA has taken that away from boxing. People are more excited about an MMA fight than a boxing fight.
Mhm.
You know, uh, just the promoters. I'm not sure. They gotta get together. I know Ring is trying to do so. I mean, can you imagine if Turkey never like invested the money he did?
Mhm.
We probably wouldn't have gotten the Canelo Crawford fight. You know, um, but these guys, It's sad what has happened to boxing.
Yeah.
Um, but
It's definitely not what it used to be. It's like in a way, it's more like polished, like the broadcast and stuff. And it's because
hmm
of social media, it's
hmm
like it's in a way it reaches more people overall, but there's still no, you don't see the big time pay per view events
no,
like outside of that
and,
Netflix. Netflix was never that was you paid whatever your Netflix subscription is, and you can watch the fight for
yeah,
free. But who
yeah,
today right now, who in boxing if they did a regular like I don't know what the numbers were for Shakur's last fight or Ryan Garcia, but when you have to pay for a boxing pay per view, Mayweather and Pacquiao used to do $1 million plus every time
yeah.
out on average. Who in boxing
And
can even come
you
close
had
to
to pay $100 for that
that?
if you
Right,
want.
So
Yeah,
it's like
it's this is free because everybody who doesn't have a Netflix subscription,
yeah, right. So
it's free.
right,
It's
so
free. So yeah, it's like that's what I'm saying. When you had a fighter like when you had a fight like Vargas De La Hoya Trinidad, De La Hoya Mosley, Lennox Lewis Tyson, Holyfield Tyson, and this was back in the '90s where people were paying 50, 60, $80 to watch that fight,
hmm
and it was like it was such a buildup. It was such a buildup, and people were excited. Everybody was talking about the big fight. Now, Shakur, is he more talented than those welterweights in the late '90s and early 2000s? Maybe, but he doesn't bring the same enthusiasm, the same, you know.
no,
Yeah, it's like, these guys were Mayorga. Remember Mayorga versus Canelo or Mayorga versus Mosley? Like, God, man, I don't know. Maybe they need to smoke a cigarette in the middle of the ring again. I don't know. Who knows what these guys need to do? But
yeah.
I mean, are they not promoting the fight right? What's going on? You know?
They don't know how to build the fighters anymore. That's what HBO was so good at. HBO knew how to build fighters and make you go, man, I gotta watch this Marquez and Tim Bradley fight. This is
Or
what
even, yeah,
legacies are on the line. You know,
Barrera versus Marquez. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
Barrera
and then
versus
and let's be honest, we don't have the voice of Jim Lampley.
yeah. I mean, those people were Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant. They were essential. Al Bernstein, Steve Farwood, Hood,
Even
Steve Albert.
George Foreman,
Yeah,
just George Foreman's voice next to Lampley.
yeah.
You know,
It's a
and
different sport now.
yeah, and that guy, he's not bad. That guy, Morrow, I think, whatever
But
his name is.
he was an MMA guy at first. It's
Yeah,
different.
but he's not bad. He's not bad. It's just there's just something missing in boxing that you know they just gotta find a way to build these boxers back up, man.
Yeah.
But that's all the time I got, Wilson.
All right then. So before we get out of here, just a reminder to hit that subscribe button next to the Complete Podcast Network and to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TC Pod Network. You can also send feedback and mailbag questions to Complete Lakers Podcast at gmail.com. We are out.